I'm Lynn.
And I'm Leo. Welcome back to our 30 days of yoga.
Yes, and if you are joining us for the first time today, then come and join in. We do have complete beginner classes, so do take a look at the channel.
If you have one, have a yoga belt. If you don't have a yoga belt, have a cord, a tie, something of that sort, just to hand.
Yes. We're going to start on floor level, so we're starting in Adho Mukha Virasana. So Leo is going to just show you this action with her toes together, thighs slightly apart so that you can extend forward, but you can see here there's a really nice lift in the abdomen as you extend forward. So you see that some of you have already practiced with us this pose, but still go through the process of changing and adjusting whilst you're in the pose. So make sure these arms are nice and long. We find this a lot with our complete beginners, that the elbows sometimes drop down. You can see like this. You want to have them really nice and extended, palms down, reaching back into the buttocks so that the back of the hamstrings, the back of the thighs are working nicely and extending towards the buttock side. Just let the head rest down for a moment and soften the breath. So from here, we're going to come into Adho Mukha Virasana. So again, you'll be familiar with this action, pressing down into the fingers, into the palms, tucking your toes under and coming up into your dog pose. Reaching up, lifting your abdomen, pressing strongly down with your palms and lifting up through the abdomen, pushing the thigh bones back strongly. Yes, soft inhalation and exhalation. So from here, remember Uttanasana, step or jump the legs towards the hands. Good. Be in your Uttanasana. Challenge your legs. So challenge your legs in this position. You've got to see that you cut these thighs right back. The thighs have got to cut back so much, the thigh bones, opening the backs of the knees, and then lifting the abdomen, looking through them, extending through the front body. If you're able to go a little bit deeper in this action, then do so, taking your hands flat and maybe taking your hands back if you're able to go a little bit deeper, but don't overstrain, don't overportion. Again, remember that the vertical action of the thighs is really important. Make sure that they are perpendicular to the floor. Soft breath. Now coming up out of your Uttanasana, hands onto your pelvis, draw the abdomen in as you come up. Just be in your Tadasana for a few moments. We're coming for a pose called Vrksasana, and that's translated as chair pose. So this is quite an interesting one, quite challenging as well. So taking the arms up above your head, extending up in this position. Now what's really important here is this abdominal action. You've got to see that you draw in at the lower abdomen and lift up through the body. Now, hinge at the ankles as you bend your knees in this position. Now you're coming to a fairly upright position here. Now go and see, move that abdomen back, but don't push out with your lower back. This is the key thing. Sometimes this lower back goes out, you can see like that. We don't want that. This needs to be a break on the pose. The abdomen comes towards the sacral area and sit back as if you're going to sit back onto a chair. Good. And look forward. Keep the arms up. You can see this pose is really coming nicely here. You're going to extend into the fingers, looking forward. Soft inhalation, exhalation. Draw the abdomen in and come up into Vrksasana in Tadasana. And now releasing the arms down. Well done. Just take a few breaths. Be in your Tadasana. Root down with the heels and lift up through the legs. Lift up through the thighs. We're coming for a pose called Vrksasana now. So Vrksasana is tree pose. We're coming for another balance. We had a balance yesterday. Today we're coming for another balance. It's still very challenging. Now, if you are challenged by this, you can take your back to the wall, which Leo will show you here. So what we're going to do is to stand in a good Tadasana, rotating the right leg out to the side, getting that outward rotation. And then picking up your right foot and placing it to the inner thigh. So when you come into this action, you want to make sure that you dig in with your heel and the toes are pointing down in a downward direction. And sometimes this, well, quite often, isn't it, that this foot slips down like this. Don't worry about that. You've got to see that the connection is strong. The outer left thigh to the sole of the foot, the sole of the foot to the outer left thigh. All of that needs to happen. And if that's not happening at all, then this is where your belt, your tie, your bit of rope, whatever you're using, will come into use. It's a very useful way of working. So you just hold on here. And sometimes more experienced practitioners work in this way if they're trying to work more on the outer hip rotation, so you can be in this position. Now, if you can hold all of this and grip in those hips nicely and stand in the centre of the room, then you're doing all right. If you need the wall, then you are still building those foundations in the pose. And if you're able to, take a breath in and raise those arms above your head. Good. Extending up out of the pelvis, drawing in with the lower abdominal area and lifting them up. Good. Opening through the frontal groin, you can see here. You've got to reach from that inner groin all the way towards the outer, the inner knee. Breathe out. Soft inhalation, soft exhalation. And then releasing out of the pose. Taking the feet back into Tadasana.
So this is where yoga shorts come into their own.
Oh God, yeah. Their skin's always quite good in this position.
Yeah, if you can get your foot up onto the thigh flesh, the skin, rather than shiny lycra, it's very helpful.
Okay, so you're going to rotate your left foot out to the side, and again, get that outward rotation. Then picking up your foot and placing it to the inside of the thigh. Being in this position. Good. And just being there for a few moments. Now if you're able to keep that connection, then do so. Otherwise you can use the belt if you need to. From there, squeezing those outer hips and lift up through the front body and raise those arms up. If you can go in the centre of the room, that's fine. If you need the back of the wall, that's fine. You can always put one hand onto the wall as well. That's another way of working, and that's how we work with our beginners in this pose. But this is a really nice, stable way of working. With your back to the wall, you can work this outward rotation a little more. So just be at the preparational stages to start with, and then see if you can move a little bit further away from the wall as you become a little bit more familiar with the pose and the actions. Remember to breathe there. A lot of people come into this pose and their breath stops, it stagnates. So I know it's strong, I know it's hard, but you just have to breathe through it. Good. And releasing out of the pose. So coming back onto your mat for Uttanasana. So we're coming into this sequence of Uttanasana, Adho Mukha Virasana, Uttanasana again. So you can see here, Leo's hinging forward into Uttanasana. Keep your legs really nice and straight and strong. Jump or step the legs back for Adho Mukha Virasana. Good. Be in this position. Again, be sure that the base is really grounded. So you're weighting down with those palms, extending back into your back legs, lifting your abdomen. Look forward, look forward, look forward, look forward. Now, Uttanasana, so jump those legs or step if you need to. Be in this position. Lifting your abdomen, seeing that the thighs are moving back and lifting through your chest. Soft inhalation and exhalation. And then coming up out of the pose. And just stand in Tadasana just for a few moments, rolling your shoulders back and down. Our next pose is an extended leg stretch. It's called Prasarita Padottanasana, but we're coming with the hands in Paschimottanasana, Namaskar-asana. So when you're in this position, you can see Leo taking her hands together and turning the palms. Now, if this is really terrible and really difficult to do, then you can place your arms in your crossed arm position like this. So when you come into the pose, either or, You can take your hands into your Paschimottanasana and take the legs nice and wide. Good. And lifting through the front body, keeping those thighs moving back. Keeping the action through the front hips, keep the thighs back and keep this action. Yes, this space needs to be really broad and long. Roll your shoulders back, keep the action of the spine, and then hinge forward. You may only come forward halfway. Good. Be in this position. So it may be that you come halfway. You can always rest your forehead onto a chair or to some support if you have support handy. Go and see that you're lifting through your abdomen, pressing your palms together, and then just see if you can keep that back action you see with Leo's action here, and then just releasing the head down in this position. Very strong pose for beginners, but it's something to work towards gradually over a period of time. And again, just come halfway to start with, and if you're able to complete the pose, then coming into it. Okay, taking a breath in and slowly, slowly releasing and coming up. Yes, press those fingers together to come up and bring the legs together. Good, and release the arms down. Stand in Tadasana for a few moments. Roll your shoulders back and down. So this is really now coming to the end of this sequence in day 14. So come and sit with us just for a time of reflection and quietness. Sit in Sukhasana. Just soften around your facial features and just take a few deeper, longer inhalations. We hope you enjoyed joining us today.
Thank you for practicing with us, and hopefully we will see you tomorrow. Namaste.
Namaste.